it is time for us to get started. Welcome to the Using Evernote online workshop. This workshop is presented by Inner Enthusiasm Consulting, Heather Wilson. Thank you for joining us today to learn about using Evernote to organize your business and your life. We will be going through how to set up and use an Evernote account, along with a few tips and tricks just to get the most out of the application. Before we get started, I want to do a little housekeeping and make sure that this webinar experience is the best that it can be. So if you could please start off by using your chat function to let me know if you can hear me okay on the audio. Wait a few minutes. Okay, and it looks like I'm getting a few yeses here. That's great. Some other things, if you're using a Chrome browser, you may experience some issues with the screen updating slowly, or it may become frozen. If you can, switch to Safari or another web browser, and this will eliminate that issue. Another thing, if you're using Skype or another voice over IP service for the audio, this can also interfere with the bandwidth that you're using to be on the internet, and it can cause slow updating of the screen as well. So if you can do this, switch to a landline or mobile for your audio, and then you can listen through your computer speakers by selecting Listen in your chat box area. You will not be able to speak in this mode, but you can still use that chat box to communicate with me if you have any issues. So we will also use this chat box to allow attendees to ask questions or communicate any issues that you're having. Please be respectful when using the chat box so that we can all have a pleasant experience. With that, let's get started. So we're going to talk about using Evernote. Let's talk about what Evernote is first. So Evernote is an application that you can use to store photos, reminders, a place that you're going to visit, maps, directions, bills to pay, tweets. So it's a long list of things that you can use Evernote to use. What's so powerful about Evernote is that it has the capability for you to easily find those notes that you've taken with the strong search capability that it has. It's sort of an electronic file cabinet, and I like to call it my mobile brain. So everything that I like to remember, I put into Evernote so I can access it later. So in order to get Evernote, there's a couple ways that you can get it. One way is you can download the Evernote app from the internet at www.evernote.com/download. That's for your desktop access. Or if you have mobile devices, you can also go to your app store and download the application onto your phone or mobile tablet. And one thing that is great about Evernote is that when you have it downloaded in one place, it's going to sync all of your other devices so that you will always have the same information on whichever device that you're using. So I will start off, we'll show you what the Evernote application looks like when you first open it online. So this is at the evernote.com website. As you can see at the top, it says remember everything. So you can capture anything. There's several ways to capture data. You can access it anywhere. It works with nearly every computer, phone, and mobile device out there. And then with the search function, you can find things fast. Best off says Evernote is free unless you want the premium service. And premium just has a little bit more storage capability and also a few other functionalities that are not necessarily available in the free version. But I recommend that people start off with the free version and then upgrade only when they see that that need is not being met with the free version. Okay, so this is at evernote.com. So at the download page, you'll see that it has several different ways for you to download. So for your mobile devices here on the right-hand side, you'll see that it's available for the iOS system, so all of your Mac and Apple products. It's available on Android, Windows Phone 7, BlackBerry, and there's a WebOS. And then for your computers, both the Mac and the Windows computers are supported as well. Here you can download the Evernote application that you need for your particular device. Okay, so once again, add Evernote to all of your devices, and then that way you can access your notes from anywhere. So you'll also notice here at the top right-hand side of the page, there is also a web sign-in. So not only can you have Evernote on your devices, but you also can access Evernote anywhere that there's an internet connection. So you can, if there's a computer and you don't have your devices with you, you can just go to evernote.com, go to their web sign-in button, and it will allow you to sign in. So this is mine automatically pops up with all of my notes, and I have access to that. Okay, so let's start with a review. I'm actually going to review the desktop version that I have loaded on my MacBook. So let's go over a little bit of what you see when you open up and sign into your dashboard. So at the top here, you'll see you have your account and shared is here. But at the top of the account, if you click here, this is going to give you information about your account. So if you go to Account Info, you click that, it's going to give you information on your current monthly usage, what account you have logged in here. The current monthly usage is going to show you how much you have remaining. So in my account here, I have 60 megabytes. This is actually the free version, so you have a lot of storage space. So it will tell you how much you have remaining and then how many days you have until you are reset. So for every 30 days, you get the 60 megabytes for the free account. And then the next section you'll see here is the email notes, and there's an email address there. So this is going to be important. We'll talk about this a little bit later. This email address is going to allow you to do some pretty cool things with managing your email. So we'll talk about that as soon. So after that, so we have the back and forward buttons just like you have in your regular browser. So you can go back and forth in your notes. You can do that. This will change your view. There's a view section here. So there's different ways you can view your notes. You can have a list of all of the notes that you've taken here, and they're by create date or title or updated. You can also sort that. That can go created. You can sort from most recent to the later stuff, or you can change that around. You also can sort by title, so you can do it alphabetically. And then when it was updated, this is telling you when did you update that note the last time. So there's a couple different views. This view is going to give you a list, a small snapshot on the side of all of your notes. You can access those by maybe seeing a snapshot of what the note contains. And then the next view is a snapshot of all of your notes with the kind of the pictorial version of what you have. Those are the things. Then you have this sync button. This sync button is only on your desktop version, and so it's going to allow you, if you haven't uploaded a note from your mobile device or your iPad, if you click the sync button, it will make sure that that information and those notes are uploaded to your desktop version. So you just click that sync button, it goes and contacts the server, and it looks and sees if there are any other new notes that have been uploaded or need to be downloaded to your other devices. So not only does it sync what you've captured on your mobile device, it syncs it to your desktop version, but if you've made some notes in your desktop version, it will sync it with your mobile device. Next thing on our dashboard is the trunk, and the trunk is really cool. It has a lot of products and services that are add-ons to the Evernote product, and we'll go ahead and click in there. It will show you there are a lot of apps that can go along with Evernote to make it even easier for you to manage your Evernote experience. So you'll see at the top there are apps that you can look and see which ones would be great add-ons for you, and we'll talk about a few of these later on. And then here's a great resource also is the how-to. So there are some books that and ebooks that people have written about how to use Evernote the most effectively. So there's some guides here. Some of them are free and some of them do require a payment, but they are very much worth the cost if you're going to make that investment. There's also some hardware that can come along with your Evernote experience. It allows you to take notes on a tablet using a stylus. There's scanners if you want to get paper documents uploaded into your Evernote account. So there are several different devices that you can use as an add-on to your Evernote experience. And then there's some gear. The gear is if you'd like to get T-shirts that have Evernote on them to express your love for Evernote. And once you start using it, you will really start to love it. So maybe going to consider going and getting a T-shirt to express that. That's what's in the Evernote trunk. Then back to our desktop, kind of our dashboard here. So again, you have usage. So this bar here tells how much if I have available still for usage. Activity is going to give you what are the last things that you've done within your account. So this is if anything has happened in your shared notebooks, and also if you've synced lately and that kind of thing. So that is your activity, and then we'll get to creating new notes. That's the button here. But before we do that, when I'm setting up my Evernote account or working with a client that needs to set up one, the first thing I do is not have them create new notes, but to start with creating new notebooks. Notebooks are just like you would think in the physical world what a notebook is. It is going to contain several different notes, but it's organized around a certain category. So I suggest that people set up notebooks first and then start filling up those notebooks with the notes that are going to be important to them. So the way to set up new notebooks is you're going to go to your file, and I'll change this so you can see. Okay. So back here on Evernote, you'll see, let me change the screen sharing real quick. Hold on 1 second. I'll share my entire screen so you can see everything that I'm doing here. Okay, so back in Evernote, so you have File, and you go to New Notebook, and that's how you create a new notebook. This pops up. You can give it a name. So I'll name this one, for instance, call it Training. So anytime I have training, I want it to go into this notebook. You can select whether you want this to be your default notebook or not. So you can check and uncheck that. For notebook type, you have either a local notebook, meaning that it's only going to be available on your device that you've created, and it's actually going to be your desktop. Or if you want it to be a synchronized notebook, meaning that it's going to synchronize across all of your devices that you have Evernote loaded on. So I'll want mine to be synchronized. Most of mine are synchronized. And then you just click Create. So what happens is a new notebook over here. This is a list of all of your notebooks. Has been created that says Training. And as you see, this notebook is empty. So that's how you create a new notebook. So pretty easy. And the next thing, after you started creating, you've created all the notebooks that you'd like to create. So this is a list of some of the notebooks that I have. What's good is if you have clients, you can put a notebook for every single client so that you keep all of their information all together. If you're doing research on a particular book, so I was doing the 4-Hour Body, I put notes there. Any other research you're doing, have a notebook titled with that research name. And one really good one is the to-do. So it's really helpful to have a to-do notebook so that you can keep track of all of your to-do lists. And we'll talk about some ways that you can make to-do lists in Evernote when we get to the note creation piece. So after you've created all of the notebooks that you'd like to have created, then you start with the tags. So we're still not getting into creating new notes. We're going to create tags first. So tags you'll see here. are going to be the way that you can search your notebook. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see that there are several different tags that I've set up that are going to help me search for the notes that I create later on. So let's see, we have that here. I have Evernote. Evernote is one of my tags. So anytime I upload a note that has to do with Evernote, I put the tag Evernote on it. Same thing for Excel, Facebook for Business, Gmail, Google. So any type of tag that you say think that your notes would be associated with, create those tags. You can have a long, long list, as I do here, of different tags, and these tags are going to help you get the most organized. So create all of your tags. So the first thing, create your notebook. Second, create your tags. After you have created all of your tags, then that's when we started getting into the note creation. So a couple ways that you can create notes. So just like we use the file and new notebook, you can do the same thing for creating a new tag. So there's a create new tag. I'll show you that too, and that's just really easy. I'm going to put a tag in here, be tagged. Create. So it's very easy. So that will show up now here as tag. So that's how you create tags. And then now we're going to create a new note. So there's different kinds of notes you can create. The first thing you can do is create a new note from the file, and that's going to bring you here. And it's going to give you an untitled note. You just give it a title. So we'll give this Evernote training follow-up. Let's give that title. And then here, you will select what notebook you'd like to go into. It automatically went to training because it recognized training in my title, but you can change that. So if I want to call it, I want to move it to a different to-do, my to-do folder, I'll put it there. Then I add my tag. So I want this one to have Evernote. And if you've already created the tag, it's going to pop up. You can just select it here. Enter. And we'll have that tag created. I'd like it to be tagged with training. I don't have that tag yet, so you see it did not pop up with a suggestion. So I just enter that training. I'd like to have it in, let's see what other nice tags. Productivity. So I'll put it under productivity, like that, and enter. So now this note is tagged with those 3 tags, and now it brings me down to the body of the note, so I can begin typing. So I can say send, follow up, email to attendees. And then I can put upload recorded webinar access. So I can just list and make whatever kind of notes that I want to just from typing on my keyboard. I can also, as you see, there's some formatting links here. So I can select this. I can change it to a different font. I can change the size of it, change the color. So we can change this to be blue. We can do bold and all of these other things. So some of the same formatting that you would have in word processing, you can do that. And that just helps you to want to send this on to someone else. So we'll talk about sharing our notebooks and notes later. You can do that as well, and we can just format it how we like it. There's also this. You can put bullets in here. Number. But since this is kind of a list of to-do items, you can also put in checkboxes that you can check off. That is really helpful. Since I made a kind of a to-do list, I'll even add that as a tag here. So you can check off when you've done those following things. So then you also can add table. Let's do that, and it asks for you how many rows and columns you'd like and what the width is. You can do that. And then, of course, there's a horizontal line, too. Add that. So there's a lot of formatting you can do with your notes to make it exactly how you'd like it to be. That is how you create a note from the file. You'll see also in file they have new insight notes, eyesight notes. So I have a web camera on my computer, so I'm actually able to capture a note using eyesight, which is the web camera name. So if I want to do that, I just select here. New one comes in. I'm going to take a snapshot of myself. Hello. So I'll take photo snapshot. Okay, and then set. Do that, and that new is uploaded in as a note. So then I have to go back in and change this to whatever I like my title to be. And then I can add tags. I can put it in different folder. So I'll put it in my training folder. I'll click tag, Evernote, training. Okay, that's the thing. Another way you can capture notes, so you can capture photos as well. One way I think would be useful to use the camera is not only to take pictures of yourself working. You can also take pictures of receipts and have them stored in a book, so into a note, so that when you're doing expenses later on, you have a record of what that receipt was and expenses, and keep track of things, and that will eliminate some of the paper that you have laying around in receipt notebooks or shoe boxes full of paper and receipts. So that's one way to use Evernote. Another, we'll show you one more way, is to capture a audio note. Audio note is exactly what you would think it would be. You give it a title, Evernote Training Audio Note. Select what notebook you'd like it to go into. Select that one. Add your tags. Add the same ones over and over. And then you just record. So I'm going to record. Click here, and I'm going to record a note for Evernote to be uploaded into my notebook. And then you click Save, stop the recording, and it makes a WAV file of that recording. And that note now can be played over. Probably can't hear on your end. Let me see if we can get the audio back on for you. There we go. Hopefully you heard that. It played the note back for me. So this is helpful, like if you're out, and especially if you have mobile devices. You can use your mobile device, open up Evernote, say record audio notes, and take notes. So you can say some uses. I guess if you're in a mall parking lot and you want to remember where you parked, you can use an audio note to say I parked in row N, space 33, or especially at the airport. You can record a shopping list. You can record just quick notes that you want to get down and you don't have actually time to write down on paper. You can just do an audio note and save those. So it's a really helpful tool to capture on the move. So you're not necessarily at your desktop. You want to capture those things. You can do that as well. You'll see in this note here, if you click this microphone icon, that's going to be the same thing. It's capturing your audio. Go to the next one. Within your new note, you'll see Take Snapshot. That's where we took the picture. And then you can also attach a file. So this is helpful if you want to have something attached to your note. So if you have files on your desktop, you can have those attached to the note as well. So you can have everything all in one place. So this just gets you organized, gets everything in one place, and then as we'll see later, we'll easily be able to find this information using the search capability. So that is how you create notes in all of its different forms. The next thing is, okay, now you have all of your notes. You've got notebooks created. You've got notes within those notebooks. Now you're going to want to be able to find those notes that you've uploaded without using a lot of searching. So here's the search function here in the top right-hand side. In the search box, we can type in the word, and we're going to stick with Evernote today. That's going to be our theme of everything. So we'll search for Evernote, and you don't have to enter or to do the search. It automatically will now bring in all of the notes that are that come up in that search. So if you look here, the middle or the top, kind of the top of your dashboard here, it shows that you're viewing 18 notes. So there's 18 notes, this list here, from all of your notebooks, matching all of the following. It contains words starting with Evernote. And of course, you can change this. So you can change the search. Your training notebook. So here we only have 2 notes. So that matches all of the words containing Evernote. If you want to just search your to-do, then I only have 1 here. So it is searching your tags, and it is also searching the content within your notes. So if I go back here to all notebooks, if I click here on this note we created, here we go. For using, this is my webinar outline for today's webinar. So every time that the word Evernote shows up, it highlights exactly where it is in that note. So you can see exactly why that came up. Evernote came up in this one because it was in the title. The titles won't be highlighted, but it's there. Let's see, here's one. Evernote was, you'll see where the highlights are where Evernote shows up. So this is search. You can search all of your notebooks. You can narrow it down to the notebook that you think it will be in particular. You also can say, instead of matching all, you can say any. And so I can delete this search and say, let's search for Evernote training. Now it says I have the 8 notes that contain words, any of the following words, either Evernote or training. And it's searching all of my notebooks. So this one, you'll see Evernote is highlighted quite a bit here. Here's my outline again. Note is in here. Let's see, training shows up in one here. See some training outlined. So you can search every notebook that you have using your tags and also within your notes. So even if the word is contained within your notes. This is especially helpful if you are uploading PDFs. PDFs usually are not searchable content. It's kind of an image file. So, but when you upload it into Evernote, it uses technology to actually search within the PDF. So you can even find words that are within those documents. That is a very powerful function for you to be able to find things later on. Okay, so that is basically an overview of what Evernote can do for you. We've created notebooks, we've created tags so that we know what the note may be about, and then we've created notes, different kinds of notes there are. We have text notes, we have audio notes, and we have pictures that we can take, and we know that we can use PDFs. We'll really talk about as far as kind of using Evernote to organize yourself when you're not just within Evernote itself. So we're not always at our desk. We're not always just going to type in notes in Evernote on our desktop. And so one way that's helpful for getting your notes into Evernote, you can use later, is the capability to print your PDF to Evernote. So I'm going to open up the document that I had when we first started out. And that was actually a Pages document, which is a Mac word processing document. So we'll open that up. So what you can do from here is to get this document into Evernote so that you can search it and use it later. There is a capability for you to print PDF to Evernote automatically. So instead of printing it out on a hard copy and then uploading it or scanning it in, you can take that document. Under PDF, you'll see Save PDF to Evernote. So this is automatically going to upload that document into Evernote. So we did that. See what it looks like here. So we'll go back to our Evernote. I'm going to sync it. Reset my search. Sync is finished. Here it gives me a little notification and it says 4 notes were uploaded. So I go back here. Close that. I don't know what happened. We'll go back in. We sync. Notebook. Now we go back, and here is the note that we finished it to Evernote from Pages. It wasn't an Evernote application. It was just an ability for us to print that PDF straight into Evernote. So it uses the same title that the document was given, and then it puts it into your default notebook. My default notebook is Renee 5975. So whatever your default notebook is, it will save it to that notebook. So then you can, if you'd like to move it to somewhere else, you can change what notebook it's saved in and then add your tags that you'd like to have. Okay. Then also, so this is now a PDF. There, and you can search it. So I should be able to, let's see what word is in this document. Let's say unclutter. So as you can see, this is a PDF file, and the word unclutter was highlighted because it was found in my search. So it has looked within the PDF and found that word. Very powerful way to be able to search your document. Another thing that we can do that is very helpful is emailing your notes straight into Evernote. So you can use them, you can either read them later or you can just organize them. So like I have clients set up here in my notebook. So if I get an email from a client, I want to be able to forward that email to their client folder and have that information always available at my fingertips. So remember when we opened up an account, click on account, we go to account info, that email address that we have here. This is your Evernote email address. So what you want to do is add that to your address book, name it Evernote upload or something like that, so that you remember what it is. And then, I'll go to my email client here. Here is my email. I want to forward, I selected the document. I want to forward this to Evernote. So I have my Evernote email address is here. I've named it Evernote Upload. I double upload here for some reason. So I select that. Click that. And this is where the powerfulness goes. Now, you don't want it to just go into your default notebook. That makes another step necessary for you. Go in there, change the notebook name, put tags on it and all of that. You can actually do all of that from your email. So the first thing on your email subject, you're going to first put in the name of what you want that note to be titled. So that's going to be your notebook title. So this will be Evernote Workshop. I'm going to call it Email Test, just so you know which one it was. The next thing is, if we use the @ sign, whatever comes after that is the notebook name. So my notebook name, I'm going to put it into my training notebook. And the training notebook, we'll go in there. So what's important is you have to have that notebook already set up. It will not create a new notebook when it tries to go into Evernote. So you have to have that notebook already set up. So I want it to go into my training notebook, and I want to give it tags. So in order to give it tags, we use the # sign. So the # sign, we're going to give it call it Evernote. We're going to put training as another tag, and you also have to have these tags set up already as well. So that's why it's very important to think about what notebooks you want to have set up and what tags you're going to use often. I'm going to even give it the tag to do, just so we can see that it shows up. So we can take out whatever we'd like to remove, if we like to delete some of this stuff. And then you just send that. Okay? So send that to your sync button. There's one note uploaded. So I'm going to look into, I want it to go into the training notebook. This is the training. Okay, let's make sure it went in there. Okay, there it is. It took a little bit of time. Okay, so here it is. Evernote Workshop Email Test. It came in here. It went into my training folder, and it's been tagged with those 3 tags, Evernote, To Do, and Training. So that is powerful, folks. I mean, taking your email now and sending it straight into the particular notebook that you want with the tags already attached, that is pretty powerful stuff. So for email management, now you have it already in your Evernote, so let's just delete that. So that's how you can clean up your email box. Keep that clean. People have the goal of having 0 inbox. That's how you can do it by using Evernote, is cleaning it out by transferring everything to Evernote. Get a lot of email. I mean, that's when you may want to consider getting upgrade to the premium version, so you have a little bit more storage capability. But before you do that, you can still just use Evernote until you fill it up. You kind of use what you get out of it. Okay, so what other tips and tricks can I share with you? Talked about taking photos of receipts, so that's what we can use for our photo capture. That's really actually going to be more helpful for you probably on the road when you don't have you're not using your desktop version. If you're using your phone or your iPad or your notebook or tablet, take a picture of it with those mobile devices, and it's automatically going to be uploaded, and you don't have to keep track of things while you're traveling, track of paper. Another helpful thing is since Evernote syncs across all of your devices, people have used it for navigation, so they've used it for putting maps and directions within Evernote. So let's say, for instance, you go and you want to get a Google Maps direction. So you can go into Google, and we'll do maps, and say we're going to go, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, so I want to get some directions. Let's say I want to go from Des Moines, Iowa to Houston, Texas. Get my directions, just like you use Google Maps. But okay, of course, if I'm traveling through some part of Oklahoma that may not have signal on my cell phone, I don't have reception, I already synced in my Evernote application. So if I open up Evernote, this can be there. So what we would do is you can clip from the web. So anytime you're searching the internet, you can clip whatever page you are on. You can clip so it has the picture, it has the link, the URL, so that you're able to access it later. So a couple of ways you can do that. One thing you can do is you can email. So you can do a couple steps. You can email it to yourself and then email it to Evernote, like I showed you how to email from Evernote. But with some of the add-ons that you can get within that Evernote trunk that we looked at before, is that you can get web clippers. So if you see here in my taskbar on Safari, there is a link here that says clip to Evernote. So if I click that, the box will come up, and I can clip this to Evernote. So you give it a title. So I'll leave it as Des Moines, Iowa to Houston, Texas, Google Maps, and I'll put some tags on it. Let's call it directions. I don't have this one in here yet. So directions, map. We'll call it maybe Houston. And then you can put it in whatever notebook you like to put on. So I'm going to put in my default. But it'd be helpful if you have like a map. If you have a trip in mind, you can actually make a notebook for your Houston trip, and then dump all of your notes in there. You can also add text. So I'll just put in here. Driving directions, CSM to Houston. And then you have the option to save the page URL, so that you can just click right back to it if you have an internet connection, or you can also click the full page. So when it says full page, it's not just going to clip what you can see. It's going to clip everything that's there. So I want to do both of those things, and so you save it, sharing it, and then we'll go back to our desktop here. We'll sync it. Notebook. There you go. So it's finished. And here is mine. Right here. You can double click these and open up the note. It has all of the extra stuff that was on the page, because we did take the full page. It has all of that, but it also then has directions for the map. Let's see. Here. What we're most interested in is, let's see if I can find it here. Directions. There's driving directions here. So that information here is here. It tells you exactly step by step. And this stuff is synced, so you don't have to be on Google Maps, with the connection. It's already here in your Evernote. So that's one good thing. So you can clip anything from the web using your Evernote, or in Chrome, I believe it's called the Web Clipper. So let's go back and I'll show you again from the trunk where you can get those. So here's, go to Apps, and we'll look for, right. So let's see for Mac, and we'll look for the Web Clipper. See where it is here. Okay. It's hard to find. I know for sure, so I can't find it there. Let me go back to the actual Evernote page, because it was there. So if we go back to Evernote.com, So at the bottom of the Evernote page is the web clipper. So here is that. And it says this one, I think I'm in Safari. It has the web clipper for Safari. So you just click that and download, and it will give you this little link for you to put in your taskbar so that you can clip anything from the web. Okay. So let's see what else. So there's web clippers for, the different browsers. But get those. Make sure you get those so that you are. This is what helps you to not have a lot of different tabs open. So instead of having 50 tabs open at the top, you find something that you're interested in. Go ahead and just clip it straight to Evernote and close that tab out, and then you have the URL saved already, and you can get to it and go back and store that later. And I'll show you an example of a couple of the ones that I've done that from my Evernote. Let's back up. And the actual application. So let's see, I have clipped a lot from when I was doing this. When I was doing putting together some board development information. So when I was doing my Google search, I found something that was interesting. I just clipped it straight in. So this is just a clip from the web. So it's whatever was on that page for me. Now I can go back later and read that. Helpful to do, like if you use tags to help you go back and remember what you want to do, you can add that to-do tag on here so that when you search for all of your to-dos, the list will come up. So let's put in there. So these are just clips from the web. All of these. Okay, so that's really helpful for you to save some precious space with organizing your desktop and not having a lot of things open. Okay, so then let's talk about that to-do list again. So now to use a to-do tag really productively, everything you tag do, you know that's what you need to do. So all of these things in here will contain to-do items for me. And then in order to, from a productivity standpoint, when you're finished with it, of course, you can delete that tag. When you delete that, then it no longer shows up in your to-do list. Now I only have 2 things to do. So that's how you can manage a to-do list. The other way was the way I showed you. If you want to have a folder that says to-do, have that. And within those notes, you can also have the check marks. But again, when you've checked everything off of this list, say you have a list of to-do lists or to-do items on this note, you can then, after you've checked them all off, you can remove that to-do, and then it will no longer show up in that to-do list. Okay, so that is Evernote. And I'm sure there are plenty of other things because within this chunk there are so many other things you can do. We won't go through a lot of these. This would be a more advanced workshop, and I will be offering that later on. But from the beginning, this is how you would start using Evernote, just to start getting a little bit more organized. And set up your email box, manage your to-do list, eliminate all the tabs that you have open in your web browser, and just keep track of client information, record notes that you just may pop in your head. So there are so many things you can do with Evernote. What I would like to do now, excuse me, is open up the chat box for any type of question that you may have. So I will give it a few minutes. If we don't have any questions, then we will in the workshop. Let me open up my chat box here. Okay. So, any questions? I'm ready to chat with you and open up the floor to anyone. I'm actually going to unmute the lines if you have a question you'd like to answer or ask over the phone line. I will unmute your line as well.
You are now unmuted.
So you're now unmuted if you'd like to ask the question over the phone. Okay.
You are now muted.
So, and those questions have come up in the chat box, so hopefully this has been a really good news for you, a workshop overview of what Evernote has the capability to do for you to organize your life, organize your email inbox. I do have your email addresses, so I will contact you with a follow-up. I'll give you a recorded copy of this webinar so that you can review it at any time at your own pace. And also I'll give you my contact information if you have questions that you did not think of while we were on the call. And you can shoot those to me, and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. So thank you, and I look forward to helping you out with Evernote in the future, and I look forward to hearing some of your stories. I mean, if you can, I'll give you my contact information so you can shoot me any kind of success stories and ways that you're using Evernote. I'd love to hear those, and until then, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.